And welcome to like the one and only bonus video this project is getting. There's a few little bits and pieces we haven't shown off, enough to make up nearly 9 minutes, but that's literally about it. We got the rest of the magic spells I didn't show off, like that one, how it clips through her hair. Or this, which as Shantae just said, straight up makes you invincible. Unlimited magic plus this spell, you've won. Nothing's hurting you in this game, ever. But we've got a few transformation spells that you can buy and what you can swap them out for, and then that's pretty much it. So you go to the third page, you have the Tinkerbat transformation, which can kind of sort of double jump, but not really, and attack in various directions, making it very helpful for platforming early game. Like, you can kind of destroy the mermaid boss even quicker than before. You got Obliteration, or Obliterate, where you just cause a screen nuke, and Restoration, which spends magic to restore health, which if you have unlimited magic, still fucking breaks it. Finding any of the magic pots, I just went to this one because it's the closest one I could think of. You can swap out through trades those 4 brought dances for a different set of 4 dances, making this where if you just press the button or any button and you will just rattle and release a gem. If you want to grind gems the slow but brain dead method, find a corner and just sit in it. You got the blobfish, which never stops jumping and is literally the most useless transformation because you can't do anything else with it. The Sophia the Third, which is a reference to a tie-in because Shantae appeared in a game that was like this. I can't remember the title of the game at all. So to pay it back, they had a transformation themed on it. And then lastly, the Dryad, which gives you free healing items by just sticking around. And then you can just pick them up when you're ready. There you go. And that's literally it. So now I go back and swap it back because it's like, no, I prefer the other ones because the rest are too gimmicky. I prefer Super Revive, Obliterate, Warp, and Tinkerbat. They're far better. Then all that's left to show off is the art gallery, which is self-explanatory. So whilst I do that, that is the art you get for beating the game. That's for 100%. The next 2 are for beating the game speedrun and 100% speedrun. The rest you just unlock by default by beating the game or by opening the doors of the gallery full on. So I want to take the opportunity to talk about what the next project is and how it's going to go. The next project, as I have told many times, this is probably the clearest I've ever been on what comes next in the channel, is SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated. The only thing that could stop it is if they have a blocked scene. But if they do, I'm going to scream because, remake or not, the game is 17 years old. And it is not, and there's nothing in the game that's spoilery. I would genuinely fucking scream if they blocked any scenes for it, because it would just be insane. It would be pointless. It would be the most idiotically pointless thing I'd ever seen them do, and it would only be done to spite my promise of wanting to let's play the game if it ever got a remake. It would literally be the only thing that would be done of it, and that would just hurt my soul. But assuming they don't do that, I won't be let's playing it like the day it comes out. Unless I get it a day early or something, it won't be let's playing it the day it comes out, but it'll be pretty fucking quickly afterwards. Because what I plan on doing is the day it comes out, doing a full playthrough of it in my own time to get a feel for how the controls have altered, because I know they spent a lot of time in the community working on it, but just get a feel for how everything's altered, how everything works, maybe try out a little bit of that new co-op horde mode, even though I doubt I'll spend that much time on it. And to be honest, probably 100% it, because I know I've had the original in my life for 17 years, and I regular it so goddamn often, I can do it without really thinking. And then after that, start recording for the channel. So it probably won't be the day, it'll probably be a week after its launch, like giving me enough time to record the whole game, make sure anything that is off I'm done, because I want to show off everything I can, obviously, because it's one of my all-time favourite games. I'm not going to sugarcoat and avoid it. I want to really make sure everything is exactly how I want it to be with the recording. It'll be a live recording because I can play the game like nobody's business, really just switch off and play it without a second thought. So of course I want to be able to just chat about what I love and gush over such an amazing game getting its revival as I go, and credit Purple Lamp where they deserve it, and critique where they deserve it as well, because of knowing the original at the back of my hand, things that don't feel right are going to get called up on. Like, if this remake has potential to be perfect, but it also has the potential to not be, and so I am going to be extremely loving but extremely critical, because it is one of my all-time favourites, and now it's being remade and it comes out literally like less than 2 weeks. And I can check my calendar and my recording. It's like 11 days, I think, or something like that. By the time this uploads, it'll be like 11 days. But it's not long. It is barely any time whatsoever, and I'm so goddamn stoked. But after that, I have been toying with 2 different ideas. Both of them are projects that are kind of long overdue. One because I've gushed about the game so much, and the other because it's a sequel to a game I covered on the channel. But they're 2 that I want to do, it's just which order I do them on. Like, because, and to be honest, which one I do first is entirely dependent on Death End Request 2's release date. Because if the release date is sooner rather than later, I'll do the shorter one of the 2 over the longer one. But if it's later on, like right near the end of the year, I'll do the longer one first, because that one's the one I'm more like invested in. So that's very much let's just see how that goes. Outside of that, I did do Data Live all live streaming, and I loved the live streaming experience, so I do want to do more live streams, but I don't want to do it for the sake of doing it. It's why, like, I did a full blind playthrough of Dark Souls afterwards. That's why I did like 1 or 2 videos, but I didn't live stream any of that because I didn't want to. It wasn't a game I wanted to. It was just a game I wanted to play through and get a feel for, and it was all right. I feel like it's kind of overrated, but I won't get into that discussion now. It's all right. The difficulty when it's actually difficult, and the difficulty when it's just very poorly handled bullshit, is very fucking apparent. And the whole argument people say, oh, if you just don't like it because you're not good enough, is no. I've played far harder than Dark Souls and had far more fun with it than some other things in Dark Souls. The way it handles its difficulty and its challenge is not as nice and not as well developed as people think they did. It felt like they just threw everything at the wall and hoped something stuck, and thankfully enough stuck that people enjoyed it. Like Ornstein and Smo is a perfect example. The defense that everyone makes, that any build you can make work and it's all perfect, and that like you can get any build to make anything work in any boss fight, and that's what makes Dark Souls 1 so great. Play Ornstein and Smo with your fucking build, and your build be something other than physical, and tell me if you still agree with that argument afterwards. Ornstein and Smo will fuck your shit up every day of the week if you try and go for magic builds. It just... No, like, there's a lot of the game that I feel people overlook in their desperate attempts to defend it. Say, oh, it's just because you're not good enough. When, no, I know exactly what I need to do and can do it. But I can identify shit hitboxes, poorly designed arenas, and just arse backwards design when I see it. It feels too much like they threw everything together and hoped. And so I'm not too keen on really touching that game ever again. I played it and finished it and enjoyed it enough, but I'm never touching it again. But I didn't want to live stream it because I felt like it would have pulled my focus away from it more and would have harmed my opinion more, because I would be more inclined to just say, well, I'm not really focusing, so I'm talking as well, yada yada. Whereas because I was just silent working on it, I was like, yeah, no, this game actually has a lot of problems, and the other argument of, oh, it's just because it's dated, doesn't apply, because there's games smoother and better programmed that are decades older than it. Devil May Cry 3 is a perfect fucking example. That game is smooth as butter, and Dark Souls is not. But that being said, I'll leave it before I piss off too many more people, so we're at the end of this. Next time I see you, it'll probably be SpongeBob. But until then, take care now, and thanks for watching.